It does not look or feel like early season right now, but I tell you what, this is going to be a jam up early season set. Let me walk you through the steps to get us there. All right, guys, this is a new setup in development we're standing in right here. This is an old logging deck from a previous timber harvest on this property 12, 15 years ago. It's been maintained as an opening, but not really much more than that. We've got some broom sedge, we've got a little bit of persimmon sprouts. It's been mowed, but that's really it. I'm going to continue to do another forestry operation, have a small timber harvest accomplished this calendar year on the property. So I'm going to have trucks back in here, I'm going to have skidders back in here. This is probably going to redevelop as a logging deck. But one thing that we're going to do and take it to the next level is we're going to expand it a little bit. We're going to expand it back over my left shoulder, kind of create a little bit narrow pinch, 30, 40 yards wide or so, and extend it. If you look closely in the background, you can see another opening there. That is a small pond we're going to walk to. What we're going to do is open this thing back up, extend it to that pond, and then come back in and reseed and establish this as a perennial clover stand. Off to my south is going to be multiple fresh new bedding thickets that are going to be cut in during that timber operation. They're not, but some of them are going to be 80 yards from the start of them to 200 yards or so over that direction. We'll come around, swing on a south, southeast, east wind, probably hang on this side of the field, and then know that bedding is close, which is super important from an early season standpoint because days are typically hotter, deer don't move as much. You want that bed to food distance to be relatively short. So we have that once the bedding thickets are cut. We're going to have this expanded and open back up. I'm going to seed it in perennial clover, make sure my pH is correct, and make sure my soil amendments, specifically phosphorus and potassium, which clover really need to take off and grow vigorously, is right. If I need to, I'm going to amend it. I'm going to add that back in and establish this in a really good, small, yet very killable kill plot in perennial clover, close to bedding. But the real secret is expanding this thing back out. Not just saying, okay, hey, here's what I've been given with a logging deck, let's just make it a food plot, but really think more about what other resource can I add here. Let's walk over to that pond and show you what we're working with there. But this setup I'm excited about a lot. I'm thinking tree stand over here and one of these two trees as it bottlenecks in. This brush, probably bringing a skid steer and a mulcher to address this. A couple of these larger oaks will be taken out in the harvest, and we just got 20 yards worth of this to clean up and really get going. But let's walk over here. All right, so all this young saplings is going to be gone. Skid steer and the quick attach mulcher to take care of this. Then that leads us right out to this shallow graded dam of this pond. And from a wildlife standpoint, what an awesome feature to have this back in the timber, secluded, but then it's going to bleed right off here into that clover plot. Again, situated somewhere off to the northwest side of the opening, but have the pond in shooting range, bow range of the set, 30 yards or so. And then that south line of that opening also be 30, 40 yards away. Have it, scrapes, cameras monitoring this, but we've got bedding close by, a water resource, a great food source that they're going to be utilizing heavy during early season as well. Clover is going to be rocking and rolling going into fall. So all the things, all the elements that a deer, especially mature deer, would like to have in a very secluded, quiet portion of the farm, that again, when those cameras go off, we slide in the right wind, make the approach, and hopefully all these elements working together, a good deer is going to die right here in this set. But I can see it. I'm excited for this future early season jam up set. One of the things that can often be missed in this whole equation is the perennial clover crop. Clover doesn't get the value that it should from a lot of hunters. It's a crop that in a lot of places is growing 9 months out of the year. I always like the first part of season, not just because, hey, we get to go hunting again, but because oftentimes there's very little pressure there. Deer are on a bed to food pattern. The rut craziness hasn't happened. There might not be that summer bachelor group breakup shift depending on your seasons yet, but clover at that time frame is extremely attractive if you've been getting the necessary moisture to keep it alive. And in contrast, if you haven't been getting a ton of moisture, your fall food plots like brassicas, turnips, radishes, all that, if it's a dry summer, dry late summer, early fall, you don't have hardly much growth out of them, but you might have enough dews in the morning or overnight that your clover is really doing just fine. So it's a very big insurance policy going into early season that I love all the time. Not to mention the fact that it gets out of the spring time frame super early. So we've got that nutrition late winter, early spring coming out year after year because it's a perennial crop. I love killing turkeys over those secluded clover plots tucked back in the timber. Great strut locations. That's going to happen right here. The list goes on, but having a crop or a food plot crop that matches all the other resources around really provides more strength into your hunt strategy to where you can almost call your shot years in advance, say, at some point there is going to be a deer that chooses that, and because of all those resources packed into a tight area, they're going to frequent that location in daylight hours. Specifically early season, all these attributes, it's going to come together right here.